How do I explain to my parents that no one is hiring anymore? The job market is not like it was when they got out of college. A degree does not mean you can get a job now. I cannot even tell you how many jobs I have been applying for. And I'm a real estate agent, so they're not paying me a salary. I still can't get hired. Tried everything, and then my friend showed me this hack that saves so much time. And just swipe. Apply.
There's a report saying that women have been leaving the workforce at a higher rate than ever before this year. But it's not all by choice, though. After DEI was overturned or whatever in this regime, women started losing higher ranking positions. So it just goes to show that some of these companies were doing it just because of that, maybe, or whatever. But it's funny that they are doing this, because I just made a post like a few months ago, maybe a couple months ago, where I was talking about this person I know. They work for a really, really big company, and it's like everybody in that business, they're all making six figures that work there, right? Like in the area that they're at, and the people above them are making that. And it's a whole ton of guys in this field. However, there was women leadership, and the guys all had a conversation about, oh, what do you think about these new bosses? Like these women that are leading the company. And I was afraid to hear what they were going to say, but they were all pretty much like, dude, they're dope. I love it. Like, they're so on top of things. They're quick to answer emails, like blah, blah, blah. Like, they're doing great or whatever. But two of these women in high leadership roles in that company they did a reorg or whatever, and they were pushed out of their positions, and now men are going into these positions. And I was thinking, like, holy shit, like, they're saying they're not fired because they could still work for the company, but they just want them to get demoted or go to somewhere else. And then the thing is the position is still there, I guess, because now there's going to be men taking over the position. And it's just like, that's so interesting how that's starting to happen. So it's just like, obviously across the nation, there's going to be a lot of reasons. You know, everything costs more. If anybody has families, it's going to be harder to afford like childcare to go to work. There's a lot of things that are happening, but it's very scary to think what this is going to be looking like if it continues to go this route. It's never, though, that women weren't qualified for these positions and then they were let go because they weren't qualified. It was just, I guess, to fit some type of thing. Like, if you don't have to do something, people won't do it sometimes, right? Like, if you didn't have to, you know, like, tip your server, right? If it wasn't like a common thing in the US, then you wouldn't do it, right? It's just like, but it's just like what's expected of you or whatever, to do the right thing when that's like the vibe or whatever. But it's just like, yeah. So it's interesting to see what's going to be happening.
Workplaces are tired of drama and accusations. People now avoid unnecessary risks, and many quietly distance themselves from women to protect their careers, peace, and sanity. Less emotion, less conflict, more focus on work.
If companies can pay women less, yes, why don't they hire all women?
Well, that's a whole nother story.
Really?
I understand your argument, and I understand that you're angry.
I'm not angry.
I can hear it in your voice.
I'm not
Listen to
angry.
your voice.
I'm hearing
Now
my voice and I sound pretty calm.
You have now shifted the quality of your voice, and I thank you for that.
Okay.
And you've just given me a condescending look, and that's another reason why we need feminism. And now I'm done, and thank you so much.
She was defeated.
Let me tell you what is pissing me off in recruiting and hiring right now. I have about 1 million examples here, so if you want this to be a series, let me know, because there is no shortage of material. But in the last 2 business days, I have been told multiple times that a candidate was overqualified, and that's why a hiring manager didn't want to move forward with them. I'm just gonna unveil the wizard here. Being overqualified is a bullshit reason not to move forward with someone. There are 2 reasons why hiring managers claim they don't want to move forward with someone because they're overqualified. And it's one, because they think that they won't stay in the job very often or won't stay in the job very long, maybe because they have choppy job history and they just say they're overqualified. But more than likely, it's because they think they're too old. Both of those are bullshit reasons. You should want to hire someone who is better than what you asked for. If you go in to buy a product with a certain budget and they say, hey, we don't have that product, but we actually have a better product that is still in your budget, wouldn't you buy it and consider yourself lucky? With the way the economy is going right now and the way that in reality the job market is going, being overqualified cannot be a disqualifier when you are trying to hire. Again, I have a lot of examples here. So if y'all want more, you just let me know and I will sing like a bird.
If I was a man, and I'm not a man, but if I was a man, I wouldn't hire a woman. I wouldn't do it. And I say it all the time, and I say that, and that is something that women need to consider when they're talking about this stuff. When you are saying that a man complimenting you and saying, I really like your outfit today, is a form of sexism. If you're a man, why hire a woman, right? So you fought all this time to be able to get into the workforce only to say these are going to be the rules. You know, if you say anything, even if you compliment me, if you look at me, anything, I'm going to have a reason to fight you. And by the way, you're going to want to settle and pay me because even just the stain of an accusation is enough to ruin men. So if you're a guy, right, in this society, in this Me Too environment, in this litigation-rich environment of misogyny and sexism and all of these claims, what is the value add? What's the risk? You know, the benefit and the risk. I can't do the analysis and say, I'd just be like, no, I'm just not hiring anyone. Give me all the men.
Men aren't dumb. When basic interaction became a legal risk, they walked away. It's not hate, it's self-preservation.
I don't particularly like to hire women.
Why?
No, you didn't let me finish the sentence.
She's ready.
Calm down. I don't particularly like to hire women that are close enough in age to me that there could be a thing. Look, dude, I'm the boss. I'm dressed nice. I'm taking control of every situation. We have over 200 employees. Like, nah, bro, I don't need it.
He's clear. Running 200-plus employees demands focus. No room for drama, blurred lines, or emotional games in professional leadership.
I don't know what's happened over the last couple of generations, but men don't help women. They don't offer to hold doors and things of that nature. And part of that obviously is because radical feminists, have said, if you hold the door for me, you're implying that I'm weak. So it's not like it's just the fault of men.
Do you ever fear about like looking like a Karen, or do you think you ever overreact?
I literally wear a shirt that says Proud Karen to the airport.
Really?
I sell them.
Oh, so you go in there ready.
I let people know, like, you know, like it's not the whole concept of like people calling you a Karen is to make you think that what you're doing is not legitimate. Like you shouldn't be upset about seeing something. So I tell people all the time, I'm the #1 Karen at an airport. If I see something, I say something.
Something about being at the airport just gets you fired up. It's just a stressful environment.
Experience, and it obviously has been further burdened by COVID policies and all of that nonsense. So, but yeah, I think we just all have to just do better in terms of how people treat each other out in public.
Men stop helping when kindness gets twisted into accusations and risk.
Many male managers and owners are feeling a little bit more tentative when working with and managing their female workers.
Listen to this.
Men hesitate at work. One mistake can ruin careers. Seeking clarity, fairness, and boundaries isn't guilt. It's smart self-preservation.
A side result, an unintended consequence of the Me Too movement has popped up. Male executives and managers, some are now saying they are afraid to work with and mentor female colleagues in the workplace. So we're trying to find out, is it too hard to see the difference?
One twisted comment can end a career overnight. It's not fear of misbehaving, it's fear of being framed.
If I was a man, and I'm not a man, but if I was a man, I wouldn't hire a woman. I wouldn't do it. And I say it all the time, and I say that, and that is something that women need to consider when they're talking about this stuff. When you are saying that a man complimenting you and saying, I really like your outfit today, is a form of sexism. If you're a man, why hire a woman, right? So you fought all this time to be able to get into the workforce only to say these are going to be the rules. You know, if you say anything, even if you compliment me, if you look at me, anything, I'm going to have a reason to fight you. And by the way, you're going to want to settle and pay me because even just the stain of an accusation is enough to ruin men. So if you're a guy, right, in this society, in this Me Too environment, in this litigation-rich environment of misogyny and sexism and all these claims, what is the value add? What's the risk? You know, the benefit and the risk. I can't do the analysis and say, I'd just be like, no, I'm sorry, give me all the men.
This mindset is pure victimhood culture, punishing men just for existing near women. Men shouldn't be guilt-tripped or scared of false accusations.
That 60% of male managers are uncomfortable participating in common activities with women due to the same concerns. And a curious finding of the study was that men make up for the loss in this collaboration by just collaborating more with other men, whereas women don't make up for it at all.
But tonight, one retired CEO is speaking out about why he thinks this might end up having the wrong effect on women in the workforce.
Steve, Tricia, well, this new wave of women standing up against sexual misconduct has led to all sorts of changes.
Fear-driven overreach isolates women, blocking opportunities instead of creating true equality.
Women promoted extreme slogans such as "Believe all women," and along with it created a climate of fear where innocent men were unfairly accused and reputations destroyed. And the most notable was the Johnny Depp Amber Heard case, where Heard wrote an op-ed alleging that she was a victim of abuse. And it wasn't until 4 years after getting canceled from everything when Depp won the defamation trial for the false allegations.
Blind belief without proof destroys lives, careers, and fairness. Stop recklessness.
There's a scandal that came out. This woman falsely accused several young men of doing something to her. These young men tried to delete themselves because it was absolutely lied. Now, evidence came out recently where she went to the store, bought a hammer, beat herself.
Oh my goodness. Oh my God.
These young men, if it wasn't for other men coming around and supporting these young men, and just because she was a woman, she was believed, and I'm not saying that doesn't happen. I actually come from a family that's happened, but I still know several stories of women who have falsely accused, ruined these young men's lives. And guess what? You know what society says after that? That young woman, this is one woman who was finally held accountable because of her lies and destroying their life. But do you know what happened? Those young men, most of them who have been falsely accused, they lose their scholarship, lose their jobs, they lose everything, and then there's nothing that's said. If it goes away and it wasn't true, you never hear accountability. You never hear any woman go to jail for falsely accusing those men.
There needs to be a law for it.
False accusations destroy men's lives. Accountability is needed to prevent injustice.
Yeah, and maybe I was hoping for maybe a big bouquet just right
Excuse
there.
me.
Hi, David. You
Sorry,
okay?
am I interrupting something?
No, you're not interrupting anything. What's the problem? You need to book some time off. Let me have a look. You need 3 months off? No problem at all, you sweetheart. Bless you. Of course you can have it off. David, you look really poorly. What's the matter? Oh, bless you, you've got a cold. Of course you can go home. Of course, absolutely. David, do you mind taking on some extra workload? We're not going to be able to finish it.
Sorry, I'm really swamped.
You can't do it. No worries. Absolutely fine. Thank you. Despite being late every day, taking 6 weeks off, and you only completing your work 30% of the time, I think you deserve a promotion. You work so hard. So hard. I'm so happy and proud of you, you know? Thank you. I've got the...
Sorry, excuse me.
What's the problem?
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Well, you are interrupting something, so you need a day off. Okay, let me have a look. We've got a month where nobody is taking any time off, but I can't let you have that off.
Oh, well, why not?
I can't guarantee that no one's going to be sick on that day, so unfortunately, no. Jesus, what's the matter with you? You were in a car crash on your way here? Oh, God. I can't give you the day off, sorry. Well, you should have thought about that before getting in a car crash, shouldn't you? How about drive slower next time? Here, I need you to get that done by lunchtime.
I've got 2 things to do.
Not my problem. Your organisation is not my issue, so get it done, please. So, despite being on time all the time, you're always present in the moment, you complete your work to the fullest extent, and you are seemingly a hard worker, I'm not going to be able to offer you the promotion at the moment. Sorry. It's not really fair to anyone else that someone like you gets a promotion, the others don't. Work a bit harder. Sorry.
Okay, I am really on a roll talking about these hiring managers who are partly to blame for why everyone is experiencing a labor shortage. And I think I want to add a little nuance to this now. I want to talk about women hiring managers who don't hire other women. We all know that systemically, women were oppressed and largely rejected or barred from participating in the workforce. Generally, we know that, right? However, we also know today that most of the women in companies, most of the people in companies who have the power to make hiring and firing decisions, nowadays, those are women. And I can tell you from the experience of being a woman, those women do not like hiring other women into their organizations. And they specifically do not like hiring younger women into their organizations, and they do not like hiring younger, educated women into their organizations. Ask anyone who is under the age of 35, under the age of 40 even, what they've gone through, especially ask any woman under those ages, what they've gone through in interviews, being interviewed by other women. Disappointing, sad, heartbreaking, tragic. As a sociologist in training with my sociology degree, I've always held the belief that it's other women who are the missing puzzle pieces to misogyny. It's other women who have political power, who have economic, financial power, who have hiring and firing power within organizations, who are still propping up misogyny and the patriarchy. because it's those women who either don't hire younger, educated women into their organizations, or when they do hire those younger, educated women into their organizations, they do everything in their power to drive them out, from being condescending, from being mean, from being nasty, from refusing to train them properly, from overburdening them with more work than the role or the job requires. It's insane. And before you run into my comments with your musty, dusty, not all women, or how can you claim to be for women's empowerment when you're saying these kinds of things, saying these kinds of things is women's empowerment, because part of empowerment is holding oneself accountable for one's actions. And we need to hold these women hiring managers accountable for their actions. We need to hold them accountable for being mean and nasty to younger women entering the workforce full time. We need to hold them accountable for the way they drive out talent out of the workforce. We need to hold them accountable for the way they drive out other women from industries and from entire entities and cause brain drain. We need to hold one another accountable for that, because it's very real and it happens. And you can ask any woman of really any age, and they'll tell you they've experienced some kind of nastiness from another woman, most likely in their organization. And that's so sad, and it needs to stop.
Women managers often avoid hiring other women, not patriarchy, but to prevent drama, jealousy, and ego clashes.
I know I'm not the only one that has experienced this. Some managers take their position way too serious, like to the point where they're taking advantage of the little bit of authority that they have, especially the female managers. This is why you can't put certain females in certain positions that have some type of authority or gives them some kind of say, because all they're gonna do is abuse that authority. That's it. These bitches be clocking in like they fucking FBI agents, acting like they running the whole entire fucking White House. Like, relax. You're not the CEO. You're just the manager for this one-ass shift at fucking Target, bitch. It's retail. It was never that serious. They know they have that little bit of power, and they used it to treat people like shit and fucking abuse it instead of actually leading. Half of the time, it's not even about the work. It's all about feeding their whack-ass, lonely-ass fucking egos. At the end of the day, some managers do not manage. They just take advantage and abuse the little bit of authority they have and try to dress it up as leadership. Like, no, you're being a bitch all because you feel like you can be a bitch. And this is why a lot of managers be getting beat the fuck up and dragged through the whole fucking McDonald's store, through the whole motherfucking Marshall store. Because you're doing too much, bitch. Talk to your kids like that and treat them like that. Not me. I'm a grown-ass woman and I'm only here for 8 hours. You better watch it, ho.
Are companies unwilling to hire women? Ooh, great question. I'm at the age of getting engaged, and I've heard people say, like, don't show your ring on calls. God forbid you're pregnant or trying to get pregnant. I hate the answer I'm going to give you because it's so sad. Go for it. Yes. Talking about getting engaged. Congrats. Thanks. But it'll be like, oh, but she's going to go on honeymoon, and then she's going to get married, and then she's probably going to have babies and then not be here. There is a sad reality where we're still dealing with this, where it's almost like, well, maybe take your engagement ring off before you go to an interview. I hate that those words are even coming out of my mouth. With my second pregnancy, I didn't want anyone to know. I was like, they're going to think I'm not committed. There's like this very frustrating stigma that I'm not going to be connected or committed or great at my job. And this time around, like this current pregnancy, I've like trying to show, hey, you're capable of doing more than one thing at a time. And I am trying to be proud of it and show it. And I found that like being authentic and vulnerable has actually opened up a broader, better client pool for me. And the people who don't like it are probably not the people I want to be working with anyway.
Some women managers let authority inflate their ego, nitpick, gossip, and create drama. People avoid them, valuing real leadership over chaos.
The one thing I was not prepared for in the workforce was to have older women just hate me for existing. We'll talk about older men. That's like a different line here, but older women hated me for no reason. We can talk about the narcissistic men on a different time. I'm going to tell you a story about my first full-time job. So I worked for a company that sold medical equipment, and I was in sales and marketing. And we all kind of had different bosses, and we all had, it was like kind of like, I don't know, little groups. And so my boss was under this one. My boss was an older lady, maybe in her 60s, and she had worked at this company for 20 years. We all had different shifts. So like I could come in at 6 a.m. and leave at 3 p.m. And that's what I did. So I came in at 6 a.m. and then she would come in at like a normal time, 8 a.m. And every day she'd come in, she would ask only me what I was doing. So, you know, there's a whole team of like, I don't know, 15 of us. She would say, Chrissy, what have you done? Then she would log into the back end of my computer to see what I had been doing that day. And the thing is, I didn't really realize that I was being like singled out. You know, she got mad at me for taking a lot of water breaks. I was also competing in CrossFit, so like I peed a lot, you know, I get that. So I was naive and I went to HR and I was like, hey, I just don't think she's treating me fairly. She's like treating me different than everyone else. Now, this company also had someone that was on FMLA leave and also was just like finished a lawsuit from someone not getting their proper lunch breaks. So I'm assuming they were like really fearful of a lawsuit. I was freshly 21. I don't even like that didn't even come into my brain. Okay. So I just went to them because that's what I thought you were supposed to do. And I was like, hey, I just think she's like picking on me and I don't really understand it. And it got to a point where like she would call me out in front of everyone. She would talk down to me. But the thing is, like, my accounts were happy. I was hitting goals. I was doing okay. It's just that I could do the job in less time than everyone else, which is what I learned. Anyways, they ended up firing her. I told them not to fire her. I was like, I'll quit. But no, they fired her.
Companies avoid hiring too many women, not hatred, but to prevent drama, conflict, and HR headaches. And that's it for today on Sigma Traits. Make sure you hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and don't forget to ring that notification bell. Support this channel through membership. You can also support through PayPal link in the description. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. See you all tomorrow.